It's late May. Millions of university students are running on caffeine and adrenaline, pushing to finish final papers and prepare for end-of-year exams. Every final grade, assignment, and test score relies on a centralized digital infrastructure to process the workload during this critical window. When that infrastructure loses power, the entire academic process stops in its tracks. On campuses across North America, students were suddenly locked out. Upload buttons vanished, and the primary tool required to finish the academic year simply stopped functioning. By funneling an entire semester's worth of work through a single digital bottleneck, universities created a system where one failure can trigger an immediate institutional crisis. The impacts materialized in real time. At Penn State University, administrators canceled exams scheduled for Thursday and Friday because no one could log in to retrieve the testing materials. On the opposite side of the continent, the University of British Columbia issued an urgent alert ordering students to log out immediately. Simultaneously, the University of Toronto, UCLA, and the University of Chicago reported critical disruptions to their own systems. The map shows the true scale of the event. Nodes representing major institutions from New York to Vancouver went dark at the same time, marking a complete decapitation of higher education infrastructure. A failure of this magnitude, affecting thousands of schools across multiple time zones, indicates a systemic collapse at the highest level of the software supply chain. The failure originated with Instructure, the parent company of the Canvas learning software. A hacking group known as ShinyHunters claimed responsibility for the breach. Instead of breaching individual university firewalls, the group targeted Instructure directly, maximizing the number of affected institutions with a single strike. ShinyHunters converted this technical downtime into financial leverage, using the blackout as the foundation for an extortion attempt. This graphic recreates the demands published by the Chicago Maroon. The hackers sent a direct message encouraging the university to negotiate a settlement to prevent the release of sensitive student data. This is the danger of a supply chain ransom. By holding a single vendor hostage, attackers can effectively extort thousands of downstream clients simultaneously. Threat analyst Luke Connolly identified a specific, calculated timeline used by the hackers to apply maximum pressure to these institutions. Initial threats surfaced Sunday, building tension before reaching a breaking point during Thursday's disruption. The hackers timed this deadline to align perfectly with peak exams, ensuring institutional panic. A secondary May 12th deadline kept universities trapped in negotiations while struggling to restore services. These hackers use time as a weapon. They strike when the financial and reputational cost of downtime becomes higher than the cost of the ransom itself. While Canvas became available for most users by late Thursday, the event demonstrated how easily a central digital service can be paralyzed. On the same day the outage hit, Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer sent an urgent letter to the Trump administration regarding national cybersecurity. Schumer called for the Department of Homeland Security to immediately increase support for state and local infrastructure to prevent outages that put lives and livelihoods at risk. The letter highlighted a specific concern, the role of artificial intelligence. Schumer argued that as AI develops, the ability for bad actors to execute sweeping cyberattacks will only become faster and more efficient. The Canvas outage functioned as a real-world proof of concept. It showed that when critical infrastructure is centralized, a single breach can freeze an entire sector, a vulnerability that may become a much larger threat as AI-driven cyber risks continue.